What is up, Magic Monsters? Happy birthday, America, or something. And let's look at this project. I'm baking... Oh, it's already open. I'm baking meringues. Isn't that nice? Going to a friend's house. Going to bring some meringues with whipped cream and fresh berries. That's in the oven right now. I got a timer on. Hey, Dustin, how are you today? I hope you're having a swell day. I'm having a nice day so far. I think I want to be political, but I won't. Instead, I will press play and show you how this is not acting the way it's supposed to be acting. I've cleaned up my script, made it more efficient, went through multiple iterations yesterday on trying to get the character here doing things, but obviously you can see from the start they're not acting the right way. Something's up. Now I will say I updated my logic for these spots around me, so now they are very smooth. They are aligned to the position of the player, but they are no longer shaky like they were before. But this goblin is just it's just not acting right. So currently it's in the alert state, but it's yeah, you can see the lines where it says it's trying to find new yeah, not acting the way it should be on its birthday. I'm talking about America, but yes, this goblin as well. You can see the lines. That's the goblin choosing new spots to go to, but it's just not. And I'm not sure exactly what it is that happened. I don't really actually know what I changed along the way to make it act like this. Maybe it was that. Maybe. Oh, my microphone is rising up. Now I've pushed it back down. America. Maybe it's that my radius is now 5 instead of 1. I changed that at some point, thinking that might help things. Who knows if it did? Let's see again. Nope. It's still... See, now look at that. It's walking backwards, which should only happen when the player is too close. So the fact that it's happening now is disturbing. Unless it moved to patrol. Yeah, okay, I see it moved to patrol. And in patrol, I need to update this code, I think. To be locomotion, handle locomotion, idle speed. I actually moved these, so I believe that is not. It's now going to be actor actions dot idle value. Or is it? No, it isn't. I guess idle speed is not the same thing. Yes, it is. Current locomotion speed. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, locomotion, just to make sure that there's no that's not setting. Yep, not setting it there. Patrol turn-based shouldn't have any impact at all, because it is not turn-based, and we're handling the locomotion on that. So on enable, set next decision time, max speed is walk value. Yep. And when we enter alert, max speed is run value. Okay. So, oh, hi, Paolo. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Oh, I should zoom in this. I apologize. So again, I have no idea why it's going backwards. I have no idea why it's entered patrol mode. So I guess I just need to go through the code and figure it out, because, man, it's frustrating. All right, so we do a few things. This is what we do. First of all, this is on update. So this is just ensuring that we're in the right state, etc. And then we draw our debug lines, and that's that. So these are the things we should do each frame. First of all, we're going to handle locomotion. Handling the locomotion is fairly simple. Our nav speed starts out as idling, so whatever our idle value is. And then if we're too close to the player, then we make our nav speed to be walk backwards. Otherwise, we get the desired velocity, and then we clamp that from 0 to max speed, which is the run speed in this case. Okay. And then commented out that stuff. Then we just move our desired locomotion speed from wherever it currently is to our nav speed over a bit of time by delta time. And then we add that to our locomotion key and our desired speed. So essentially it will smoothly ramp up or ramp down to whatever the nav speed is supposed to be. Happens in about a second. So it's pretty fast and it's smooth and it's nice. And there's really no reason why this shouldn't be working. So I think debug.log, we're going to say distance is too close to player, and then color equals red, and then we're going to say distance or actor. We're in actor action, so distance to player, and then slash color. Distance, so if we are too close to player, it will tell us now. We shouldn't be getting in this state unless we really are too close to player. Too close to player is just checking if the distance to player is less than move back distance. Move back distance, I think, is set to 2. So pretty self-explanatory there, I would think. Yeah. And I believe we'll press play and I'll pause it. We have to reset this. Stop and press play again. I'll press play again and we'll pause it and we'll watch the goblin and see what their desired locomotion should be. Because it should be something reasonable. And I believe that part's working. That's the thing that gets me, is I think that part's working. It's just the action of the goblin is not. So right here, this purple line is basically indicating, hey, I am not close enough to the player to go straight for them. So I'm going to choose a spot that is closer to them. And that's the spot it chose. That's all it's saying in this action step, in this moment. And then on our actor actions here, we can see the distance to the player. We see our move back distance is 2. Attack position index is -1 because there is none. Yep, max speed is 1. Speed change is 1. We are in the alert state. Zigzag means we will zigzag as long as we're 10 meters or more away. This is the zigzag where it's going to choose some. It could potentially zigzag. It doesn't have to zigzag. All right, so it didn't really go in the right direction. It kind of did, but nope, there it did not. It went to the wrong direction. Now it's just walking away from me for some reason. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. Right? What if I do that? Oh, that's it. All right, freeze rotation. I checked that to see if it was the thing, but apparently this happened. So at some point I did have that here, and then I removed it because I was having other issues, and that appears to be the issue at hand. It's always good to go through the code and look at it and remember what it all does and make comments and such, right? All right. All right, press play. It's slow. I should probably quit and reload because it seems like over time it gets slower and slower and slower and slower and slower and slower and slower. So don't forget to give a like and a subscribe if you would. All right, so now let's. All right, I don't know why they're going over there. We need to still work in something about like whether they can go that way. So now they're going straight for the player. Oh, no, now they're going away. Oh, or, okay, now they're going in circles. Oh, that pink line was incorrect. So we're going to see it again. The pink line's going way off. And that means my math is off on the position. Yeah, it's supposed to get a position right around the player. So somewhere around here. But instead, it's apparently getting a position way off. And then once it gets close enough, it'll take an attack position, and then he'll attack. He's still trying to walk. I guess this is the walk backwards. So we got... Oh, what just happened? I just hit it. Okay. So he's trying to walk backwards, but being unable to, which is interesting. There he is. Yeah, now he's, I don't know what he's doing there. All right, so that pink one isn't something to fix, I suppose. So that would be under alert, check for new attack position. No, not check for new attack position. It's going to be choose position closer to player. So in choose position closer to player, we first start by resetting our decision time. And then we go to the set new movement. And to do that, we're going to start by turning the Nav Mesh Agent on and making sure that we're on the Nav Mesh. And then we're going to either do a zigzag position or a position around the player. Zigzag is when they're over zigzag range. In this case, it's 10. But the one that's causing the issue is the choose position around player. And I believe the issue is really this utility I built for myself, wherever it is, new position around player. This is the issue, which is get position around transform. And so we're passing the player's position 180 degrees angle, which gives a 360 total. Position around player range, so the minimum distance and the maximum distance. So I think I just need to make this better. All right. This is all it does, and I believe it's not doing its job. So I think the first thing is this quaternion Euler. I don't fully understand quaternions because I'm human. So Unity 3D quaternion Euler. Let's see what this says. A rotation 30 degrees around the y-axis. Okay, so that is a good start because we want a random degree around that axis. So I was multiplying this because I get this error down here. So I think I don't want to multiply that. So I've got the rotation. That is a random degree around the y-axis of the player, or just a random degree around the y-axis. It's not of anything yet. And new position is going to be, so this is not a direction with angle anymore. This is just a rotation. So now we need to get the rotation to a direction. So Unity 3D convert rotation to direction. Let's see if this answer works. Transform direction. Transforms directions from local space to world space. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Euler angles, quaternions. From to rotation. What is this? Nope. Creates a rotation which rotates angle degrees around axis. That should be the same result. All right. Nishian always keeps coming back here, so that must be something. I don't think I want forward though, right? Maybe forward. So we're going to multiply it by direction and debug.log. Rotation is direction. This could be vector 3 up for all I know. And that's because these are 0, so I would assume vector forward is 1, so it would just be 0. So I'm going to make that up because I'm pretty sure I would need that to be 0, 1, 0 in order to not lose that data. All right, so the new position is now going to be the position of the player that we've passed in, plus the direction times a distance. And then we're going to draw a line if we're drawing a line, and that's that. All right. All right. Press play. Ooh, I think this chair keeps getting stuck off the lip of this plastic thing at the bottom. Then I have to zoom or move in, and it's very not ideal, but that's okay. I like this chair. All right. Let's look. Oh, they are. Okay, so they're in. Zigzag to position. I need it to be not zigzagging. Okay. So direction is not supposed to be 1. I can get rid of this debug. That's going to be spammy. Direction is not supposed to be 1 here. If I, oh, look, yeah, I got a rotation. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a quaternion, and so I can't multiply it by vector 3 because that's going to give me a weird direction. But it does say it's going to go to a position that is a distance from the player. Sure, that's different. I am going to do something to help myself out here. I've got my zigzag distance set to 10. I'm going to make that much longer so that it will not zigzag unless we are over 30 meters away. And if it's under 30, we will go straight for the player, which is the behavior we're trying to test here. Okay, so when it gets to its position, that's when it does that circle thing. So I need to, do a check to see if it's gotten to its position. All right, well, that time it worked. Let me just move way over here. Now you can see as I get far enough away, it actually loses the connection to that dot, which is great. All right, so it found a new spot. Found a spot over there. So the idea is what it's basically going to be doing is finding a spot, and then if it gets close enough to the player, then it's going to go straight for it. And you can see here it's got a red dot, meaning it should be attacking, but it's actually doing this backwards walk thing right now. So that's another issue. But I added that dot to make it more visual that, oh no, I've got a spot. But yeah, there you go. Now, I don't know why it was actually still trying to find a thing here. It shouldn't have done that. If it's got well, actually, let's see. So when it was close, it had that cyan bubble on top of its head, which meant that it was in the attack zone, had an attack position, but it wasn't ready to attack for some reason. So this is basically that's dot red. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So on draw gizmos, if it's in the attack, if it's in melee distance, then it will be either green or yellow if it doesn't have an attack position. But if it has an attack position, then it will be either cyan or red if, let's see, cyan, if Nav Mesh is enabled, that means it's trying to go to its attack position. It has a position, but it's trying to go there. And red means I'm there. I've turned off the Nav Mesh. I'm ready to attack, essentially. So what's supposed to happen here is before we get a position closer, we do our melee attack. And I think we return false if we're not in the melee distance, if we don't have an attack position. We also return false if our distance to attack position is greater than our close enough attack position. So this should actually return true. We want to return because we can't actually do the attack yet, but we don't want it to do something else. We don't want it to go looking for a new spot. And it was doing that. We don't want it to do that. So essentially, we do have an attack position. We're just trying to get there. So we need to give it more time to get there by returning true here. Yep. And then we need to do a check to see if we are at our position that we're trying to go to. And so this is going to be after the attacks. Check to see if we are close to our destination. Because the reason it was circling is it was really close to the destination, but this decision time hadn't been met yet. Ooh, and actually, we're going to need to move this up. Now that I think about it, because this stuff only happens if we're making another decision, and this needs to happen if we're outside of that. So check for if we reached the desired position. Yeah, there we go. We'll make that. Question is, which character controller do you use? Which character controller? What are you talking about? Which character controller? I am using my own. Because there are character controllers on the asset store, and if one of those works for you, great. But the reality is that in many, many games, there's going to be lots of different character controllers for lots of different scenarios. When we talk about the goblin moving automatically through, AI logic, essentially, the goblin walks, it's ground. Then there's going to be another controller for a flying eye, which is grounded, but it also hovers. So it can go super high, but I'm still going to have it be grounded. There's going to be another character controller for a dragon. There's going to be another character controller for another type of grounded character that acts differently. So really, depending on the character, you're going to have different character controllers, and there's really no one-size-fits-all for all of that. Oftentimes when people talk about character controllers, they talk about the player character. But even then, for this one, we just move forward, back, left, right. There's nothing fancy. It's just a, forward, back, left, right. There's no 3D character that you can see walking around. It's not a third-person game. So no need for a character controller there either. First time commenting, well, hopefully it won't be the last. I'll try not to insult you right now and make you feel like you should never have commented in the first place. Trying to implement a finite state machine. So I'm not sure exactly what you mean actually by AI behaviors. If that makes sense. I do have a little bit of a state machine going on though, with one script for each state that they're in, and so it might not be exactly what others have seen or others do, but it's basically a state system. There are states, and they will change their behaviors based on the state that they're in. So here we're going to check to see if we've reached our desired position, and if so, we're going to set our next action time to now. We're in real-time mode, so there's really no issue in doing that. But we're going to check to make sure we're not in attack range. So first of all, if in melee distance, then we'll return false, or just return, I guess, because we're going to do nothing. And if is in range distance, we're going to return 2. Is in range distance, just check on this. It does say, yeah, we need to have a bow equipped. Otherwise, we won't return true there. So that will only happen if we have a bow equipped. I'm going to have to hack that, I think, for characters that don't have bows but do range attacks, like the flying eye. We're going to say it has a bow, but it doesn't really have a bow, I think. Something like that. We'll figure it out. Days, only one day. Only one day. and some of that day I took a nap, and part of that day I took a walk to the store. So, But yes, it's yeah, there's a lot going on with it. It's just going through the steps one by one and figuring out what toggle I toggled that changed everything. And then we're going to find out if we've reached our position. So again, if we're in melee range or in range, then we won't do anything because obviously we're going to be out of position. And then we'll also say if not is moving, then return, because that means the Nav Mesh Agent is off, and therefore it's probably not we don't need to do this anyways. So now if that's the case, all we're going to do is set next action to now equals actor actions actions.now. So essentially next frame it will do something down here. And since we are not in melee distance, we are not in range distance, it's not going to do either of those. Essentially, it's going to do this. So if we are able to set this, then next frame we will choose a position closer to the player. In theory. I've been working on the motion for a few days, but the actual attack, the alert state is I started yesterday or the night before, briefly the night before, but really in earnest yesterday. Yeah, we're doing the patrolling prior to that. Okay, so we're going closer. Way too many of those. Oh, yeah, duh. This is not right. I reset this every time. That's not right. I need to make sure we're actually at the desired position. If we didn't reach the desired position, then we don't do anything. So if transform dot position, actually I guess distance. So if legend utilities dot distance from transform position to animator dot desired target position is less, or if it's greater than, I don't know, what value makes sense? What value makes sense on our goblin? Goblin. We have so many values already. One of these has got to make logical sense without yet another one. Probably choose attack position distance. Break, no. Not the close enough. Or I guess if we're greater than animator dot stopping distance. Not animator. Nav Mesh Agent. What are we doing? Dot desired destination. There we go. Is greater than Nav Mesh Agent dot stopping distance. Then we'll return. So, okay. This is, we'll make some comments here. If we can do melee attacks, then this doesn't matter. If we are in range, then this doesn't matter. If we aren't moving, then we should not choose a new position, so hold. And then for this one, if we aren't close enough to our destination, then do nothing. All right. Otherwise, we'll reset it. There we go. Let's try again. Yes, Larry, eventually. So what I'm doing right now, and welcome to the stream, Larry, and everybody else, but Larry, because you're the most recent person who talked. What I'm doing right now is having just setting up all the logic, getting all that working. This is not the final scene. I'm going to convert this to HDRP. We're going to update all the graphics and all that nice stuff, you know. But what we want is to get all of the logic working, or at least most of the logic working, and then put it on Steam and start working on the details. All right, so whoops. Okay, I'm looking at the top one. I can't. Yeah. All right, so he's following. He's getting positions that are really far off. I don't understand why those are so far away. But he's finding the right spot. This goblin. Goblin. We're still having this issue where he's returning backwards. I don't know if that's actually because they're too close. Hold on. I gotta go check my meringue. So while I check my meringue, you get to watch a goblin attack me. I'll be right back. Tell people I'll be right back. I'm going to tell people I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll be right back. Have to check the oven. Yes. There we go. So watch that goblin. All right, I'm back. Now I need to set my timer for 2 hours. All right. Apparently, the meringue is supposed to sit in the oven for 2 hours to cool off slowly, or it may crack. So hopefully it comes out. It's going to be covered with whipped cream and berries. All right. Yep. Just working on the mechanics. Yep. That's why I decided. You know, I didn't want to put something on Steam that looks really great because it's not actually a game yet. It's just a lot of fancy particles and stuff. I wanted to get the game going so that people, when they start early access supporting me, know that the game is actually going to get finished. Because all the tough parts like this are already, you know, mostly done. All right. So distance to player is that it should not be moving backwards. Yet the animator does have the locomotion as 0. So somewhere it's being set to 0. And since it's being set to 0 and it shouldn't be set to 0. That's what's going on there. It's not actually walking backwards. So somewhere along the line we have locomotion is being set. It's only here for action alert, which is interesting, unless it's something else. Let's see. This is the freeze rotation. We do have 3 locomotions here. What's this? Current locomotion speed. And that's it. Okay. Locomotion. Nope. Start idle. That's fine. Handle locomotion. Let's make sure our idle value is correct. This is in our idle value is 0.5. Let's just make sure this is linked. Idle value, animation flow idle. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not actually sure where it's getting set because there's only one usage of the walk backward value, which is the actor, player, animation, trigger, and float walk backwards. Unless somehow this is being loaded incorrectly. So we should actually check the live goblin. Meringue. Timer ringed. I get it. I get it. I understand and I appreciate it. You get a juice box for that. So good job. That's a good thing, by the way. Getting a juice box. Nope, this one's right. 0.5 for idle, 0 for walk backwards. And if we look at the animator now, we can see. Let's make sure we can see this too. We can see it's at 1. He's moving, 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 moving. Then he goes to 0. So there you go. And the only place, technically speaking, that we get the locomotion key is in when we get the current speed, and then when we set handle locomotion, and desired locomotion speed is the target of nav speed. There we go. So its desire is 0, but we actually want this to be idle. So idle value. There you go. That's the issue there. Because desired actual, like the Nav Mesh Agent wants to go 0 forward, but for our purposes and translating it to the animator, 0 equals 0.5, which is idle. Yeah. Yep. All right, so let's just see if this is feeling right now before we turn on a ton of goblins and see what they all do together. And then we'll turn on a ton of goblins. It's much more exciting when there's a ton of goblins versus one goblin. All right, so the goblin's coming towards us. Still coming towards us. Still coming towards us. So if I move around, he's not very smart about that, but and there's no nav mesh obstacle on that, so which is why it's got that issue. Okay, he's coming there. He found a spot. He's attacking. He's standing there. He'll wait for his attack turn, technically speaking. Well, he should be. I don't know what he's waiting for now. Oh, there he is. So there is an attack recovery time. That seemed like an extra long time, so I'm not sure what the deal was there. But you can see in the scene view, he's got the red dot, meaning he's got his nav mesh turned off, his nav mesh agent turned off. So the only reason he should move is if I move out of the way, or if I move closer, then he should move backwards. Yeah, because he doesn't want to be too close to me. But it seems like he's not actually moving. And that could be because his constraints are such on the rigid body. Yeah, so we're freezing the position. And I think we don't want the position frozen if we want him to move backwards. Oh, and by the way, if anyone knows how to stop me from... Hey, well, right as I ask it, now I'm not suddenly being able to push him. Well, I can push him still. I don't want to be able to push him, but it seemed like I was... Yeah, I'm able to push him. I don't want to be able to push him. But if I move out of the way... Bug! There's a bug in here. He moves forward. Yeah, he's too close, so he's trying to move back, but I've got my positions, my frozen positions up. So, not Capto. Quit that. Rider. My frozen positions happen here with freeze all. I suppose I don't want to freeze all. What do I actually want to freeze? My thinking was that I would be freezing the position, but I think I want to freeze the position Y. But even then, if he moves back up a hill, then I don't want to. So maybe these are gonna be the same thing for now, just to see what they do. And just to see if it works. Alright, come at me, bro. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, come at me. We can make him smarter. Alright, so he's too close and he moved back. He's got the red dot, so he should be attacking. I don't know why he's... Oh, I know why he's waiting. It's because he was stuck on the time he waits when he's moving between decisions is longer than when he's attacking. So I think when he gets to the spot, we need to reset that. So we can see the dot above his head flickered to cyan for a little bit. That meant that he was a little bit too far away from his desired position, which is that green dot. And so he had to turn on the nav mesh in order to move to that position. Now that he's on that position, he's okay. But if I move closer, if he gets too close with one of those attacks, then he'll decide to move backwards. So you can see that there. Because we don't want to get too close. Now, I do need to figure out how to stop him from being pushed. I also don't like that somehow he goes up and down sometimes. Like that. I don't know if you saw that. I was moving at the time, so it was hard to see. But like that. Like I don't know what he's doing there. Boom, boom, boom. You know. So that's weird. I think it's... I wonder if it's from turning the nav mesh on and off. Let's see. Oh yeah, I bet it is. Or maybe it's not. Let's see. If I manually do it. No. No, it's on. It's just doing something. Oh look, it's because the agent keeps moving. Interesting. Okay, let's dig into that. So that agent, that wider cylinder, yeah, around the character was the Nav Mesh Agent. We actually set that here, and it's supposed to set it to the player's position. And I got this from the internet and then kind of moved away from on animator move, and I put it here just in the late update. Basically, I want this to always be the player's position. So I think this is the issue here, that it should just be this, I suppose, in a perfect world. We'll see if that works. The moonwalk. All right. Crack my knuckles. Drink some water. I really should take a moment to quit and reload because it's taking longer and longer to load. All right, let's see. See how he's floating a little bit? That's an issue. That's the thing too. If he's... I need to check to make sure that when he's gunning for me, I mean, besides checking to see if I'm walking into a wall, I need to add that too. But if he's gunning for me, then I want to make sure that if my angle comes off, that he decides to change course. All right, so we also need to adjust this so that when he gets into that zone, he makes a decision. Because right now I think he's not. He's waiting for his next decision time, I think. Or something. Maybe he's not. It just wasn't. Okay. Well, we can see the wide circle. See, it's doing that thing again. Interesting. For some reason, the Nav Mesh Agent wants to be over here. See? And that's why it's not moving, because the Nav Mesh Agent is over here and thinks it's close enough or something. But it's not. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. All right, so a couple things. We wanted to check for new attack position. Handle attack position. So it's really the check for new attack position. If we do set a new position, I suppose we can reset our decision timer. Reset decision time. And that was the now thing that we did earlier. This, we're going to do reset decision time. And reset decision time is going to just do this. So we can make it a expression body method, I think. Is that the term? I think that's what it is. And we will call this as well when we set a new attack position. So whenever we set a new attack position, we'll reset the decision timer. And that means it will do another decision right after. This also means that the first time it gets an attack position, it should decide to do something like walking closer or something, but we'll see. We'll see what it actually does in practice. And then the Nav Mesh Agent itself being in a different position, even though we were calling it to be in the new position, which is the transforms position. That's very odd. Debug.log. We'll spam this for a while. Nav position is Nav Mesh Agent. Oh, this is going to be next position. Let's try Nav Mesh Agent dot position. Nope. What is next position? Gets or sets the simulation position of the Nav Mesh Agent. So there's no current position, I suppose. Okay. Okay. And position is new position, which is the transform position. All right. Let's just see what that spams us. They should be the same, of course. We shouldn't have any difference between those two. But we should also be seeing the Nav Mesh Agent to be in the same position. So that larger cylinder around should be around the middle of the body rather than off to the side like we were seeing. And that side thing was also causing that little hop or jump or skip that it was doing. Oops, not in there. All right. Goblin fighter. So we see it moving with them right now. All right. We are close enough to attack. Okay, there we go. Now, you can see, right? Nav position is off by just a bit. Why is that the case? New position is transform position. Nav mesh next position equals new position. Yet somehow it then spits out those values and they're different. What is this then? Unity 3D Nav Mesh Agent next position. What is the purpose of this? Gets or sets a simulation position. It's in world space. Next position is coupled to transform position. We turned off update position because we don't want the nav mesh to be updating our position. Because we're using root motion. Okay. So this is essentially what we're doing here. We're saying our next position to be transformed position. So we should check to make sure that we are correct in world space. There's always a chance that we have an issue there. 389, 11. 269.69, yeah, 239.69, yep. So we are in world space correctly there, and this one is simply not correctly there. So isn't that strange? I wonder if it's because, no, well, we've got it turned off right now. You can see it faded, and it, yeah, so it's on. The nav mesh is on. I think I think we need to somehow maybe remind it of its destination. That its destination is that position of the attack position. There's an action alert. I was looking at the wrong one. So when we do set a new attack position, we do set the destination and the stopping distance to be less than or close enough to attack. And we reset our decision time. So I think we just need to call this somewhere else to remind it that we have a position. Handle attack position. So if we're too far, so no, not here. We don't. That's for when we break the connection because we're just so far that we're like too far. We don't have attack position anymore. If we're close enough. So this is saying if we are more than close enough, then we'll return false. But if we are close enough, that's when we disable the Nav Mesh Agent So maybe here we can say attack position. I don't know if that'll do anything actually, because I really don't know why this was even happening to begin with. It seems illogical that we're setting it and it's instantly wrong, even though we are setting it literally the line before. That doesn't make any sense to me. Thanks for joining the stream, by the way. Feel free to give it a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe, and to post it on your TikTok. See? Why is my closeness to it affecting it like that? Is it because it carves out its own thing? That could be it. Because watch. Yeah. It happens when it carves out its own thing. So if we turn off our carve out, say don't carve, then it doesn't appear to have that issue. Now it's still having some issue. Like here, we are not close enough. That's why it's cyan to attack, but it's also not moving any closer. Our goblin has the nav mesh turned on. It's just destination is such that it's probably reached its destination within the stopping distance. Cyan. So again, just to remind myself, we are in melee distance when we have an attack position. Yeah, so that was the issue, Alex. And welcome to the stream, and thanks for commenting on it. Yeah, and thank you for reminding me, because I need to change that. I've got on the nav mesh obstacle for each one, and I have it currently set to carve when it's stationary only. But apparently, the nav mesh isn't recognizing that is itself the obstacle, that it's its own obstacle. And you're not supposed to put, apparently, an obstacle on the same thing as the agent. So I put it as a child, but I don't know. The error you get, obstacle, is this warning. Agent and components are active at the same time. Erroneous behavior. So maybe that was the behavior I saw. Maybe it's not. It doesn't mean the same object. It just means the same object and children of the object. Yeah. So that should solve that. Hopefully, we don't need to enable the carving for the rest of the goblins. So we need to say if we have an attack position and the nav mesh is enabled, we need to move closer. Draw lines, check for new one, handle attack position. So if we're too far from the attack position, that clears it. If we're close enough, we're all good. This could be the issue. Let's see. No, it's not, because if it was, then the nav mesh would be false. So how about this? we will move that here. So if the distance is greater than close enough to attack, then we will set the destination to the attack position, which itself is the attack position that we have in the index of that. Okay. Where is that method again? Yeah, so now if we're too far, and close enough means we're not so far that we drop it, we do have an attack position. So there we go. And yeah. Hi, Wesley. I actually did change it, well, I commented out that bit. That was this what I added right here. And I think I just need it up here instead. Because what we're really saying is if we have the attack position, we won't get here if we don't have the attack position. And then if we're not close enough, then we should set that destination to be the attack position. I wonder, though, if the stopping distance needs to be changed too, but we'll see right now maybe. Nav Mesh stuff, I don't know about you all, but Nav Mesh stuff always kind of confuses me. All right, here he comes. Nope, he doesn't come. Oh, yep, here they come. It's actually she. It's a female goblin. All right. In the zone to attack, just not attacking yet. Should spit out how much attack time is left. Okay. Now I'm going to move just a bit away. See. Oh, yeah, he moved closer. Move just a bit away. Still close enough to attack. Now he's not. Now he moves closer. Good. That is the behavior we'd want. And if I move a little closer to it, it moves back. If I move really close to it, then I push it back. Now that is something I want to stop. I'm not sure how to keep that from happening. But let's now see. Let me turn off this debug log. Let's see what happens when we have a shit ton of goblins. Not really a shit ton, just a ton. I think it's going to be 16 goblins. And I'm also going to change their zigzag range because right now they'll all come straight at me, which might be too scary for me right now. It will actually it's only going to do 8 because it only has 8 points and only 1 goblin per point. But I'll set it to 50 anyways. And then for our goblins here, let's see. Zigzag range is going to be 10. But move to player if you're within 55 meters and you can see the player. Yep. Now we're cooking. We should have a lot of goblins pop up. There they all go. Here they all come. I'm going to run through them. We're going to see those green dots come on and off as they get assigned and unassigned and reassigned. Okay, this one's hovering in the air and like it just don't care. These others are all going around. It's chaotic here. It's way too chaotic. So now all of these that are coming forward, the green dot ones, they're not supposed to be coming at me. So you can see these red lines basically showing where the goblins want to go. The ones with the cyan dots, they're not at the positions they want to be at. The green dots shouldn't even be, they should be going around. All right, so a couple of them found their spots and now they're attacking. Good for them. Everyone else is just, I don't know what they're doing. That's a thing of nightmares. They are still hovering in the air. That's annoying. Whoops. You can get bird's eye view of it. Yeah. All right. So the green ones need to not be going where they are. The yellow line is just their sight, that they can see the player. So green and gray. Let's see what green and gray means. Gizmo. Okay. So it starts gray. I suppose that means it's not in melee distance. That means it's out of basically 3 meters, I think, or something like that. Green means it is in melee distance, but it doesn't have an attack position. Now, if it doesn't have an attack position, it shouldn't be trying to go to the player. So, walk backward. Jeez. So really, what we're thinking here is there's only 8 attack positions. So that if they're all full, then the actor can't do anything but move around. So they can't do a melee attack. They can't do that. They can only do this. They'll choose a zigzag pattern if they are not less than the zigzag range. If they're less than the zigzag range, then they end up doing this. Now, I didn't see any pink lines. Let's press play again. I didn't see any pink lines. Goblins everywhere. Those are pink lines. But now that they're coming around us, interesting that those ones are having that issue there. I wonder what would happen if I make my attack positions further away. So I am happy with the script, by the way. I rewrote the script so now they can be moved, these attack positions. So I can move them really far away or something. So now if I put them here, see these green and gray ones, they're getting pink lines. Oh, they are getting pink lines, but they're really close or something. They're not back. Let's see. I move backwards. Wow, that one's standing up there. How'd that happen? Yeah. What's this one down here doing? He wants to be here. Now he's in the spot. Okay, that was odd. Is it because of this thing? I should just turn that thing off. All right, let me move back again. Whoops, wrong way. I'm in the mob. That was weird. Still got this guy walking up. All right. We need to move them back. I don't think this is working as expected. We'll go to, what was the line? We'll go to. So I gotta remember. Hello, Magical Holly or Holy. Stop motion, green range position, attack. So none of these do range attack, if that's what you're wanting them to do. I mean, some of them might have a bow eventually, but right now these specific ones do not have a range attack. But what I think I need to do is do a different thing. Instead of zigzag, instead of choose position closer to player. Yeah, so instead of choose position around player, I think... Hello, Merrick. How are you? I think instead of choosing a position around the player, which could be causing problems, especially if they're trying to go through the mob, I think they should just choose a position that is back from the player. So in the zigzag, we choose a spot that is within 55 degrees left or right of the enemy to the player. That's new position to player, which is this. Get forward, position forward from move to that between 8 and 10. So I can flip this around and say new position from player. And instead of giving it the transform of the enemy, we'll give it the transform of the player to the enemy and minimum distance of 8 to 10. This is still going to cause a problem. And I was trying to think how I did this last year when I had this working perfectly fine. And I want to say that when they got close, I just rewrote my own navigation. Like I just didn't use the nav mesh. I used the nav mesh when they were far away, but I didn't use it when they got close. When they got close, I think I just did a thing where they would find their own solution to the problem. And I think I might need to return to that, or might want to return to that. Let's see. Okay, let me move away from the mob. Look, see, they're floating again. And that's probably because their positions are locked or something. Wow, they move faster than they did earlier too. Okay, I'm going to pause there because I want to see these floating ones. Like, why are you floating? Where's their rigid? Their position is not frozen. They are using gravity, but for some reason, their agent is lower than they are. And I think it could be this line that I need to re-enable. But we'll do that in a second. All right. So 3 of them, one's attacking already. 3 of them apparently are taken, yet I don't see a third one with a dot over it. Oh, it's this one. There we go. Yeah, and he does have a dot. Okay, so 2 are attacking. Third is taken. Some are too close. They're walking backwards. So as these ones with the gray dots, okay, so this one just grabbed this circle and is going there. That one just grabbed that circle and is going there. Still getting attacked. These ones back there are just, I don't know what they're doing. They're all facing away from me in protest. So with fewer goblins, it's not so bad, but these 2 now are green and they are not acting appropriately. They are trying to move forward. I don't know where their destination is. I don't know why these 3 are over there. No, it's not the offset. I think it's... I don't know what exactly, but I think this is the solution. Saying the new position there, and then going back to saying my position. Basically saying, give me the transform position, give me the Y for where the Nav Mesh Agent is, which should always be on the ground, and then set my position to that and set the Nav Mesh position to that. That's it. That's my understanding. I don't know why it just doesn't work automatically, personally. I would think that it would control the position automatically, but I don't know. That's just me. I don't know these things. If you're new, please give a subscribe to the channel, and a like, and come back at some point and hang out in the Discord and all that good stuff. If you'd like. There's nice people there. Some of them are here too. Everyone's nice here. As far as I know. All right. All right. They are doing their thing. No one's floating. That's good. They're finding spots. These other ones are coming towards me. Finding spots. Pushing around. This is where I need to make them. Yeah, and then the green ones aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They should be gaining spots behind them. But they're not. I'm going to make these a little bit further out. We'll say 1.2. Just to give them all a little bit more space. And why are they not? Oh, did I not? I probably didn't even set it. I probably wrote the method and then didn't. Yeah, I didn't even call it. So there you go. Choose position around player. New position is going to be instead new position from player. And we are going to then set our destination to that new position. Set our stopping distance to be the close enough to attack position. Yeah, to the attack position distance. And then that. Okay. That's why it wasn't working. Well, I mean, that's part of why it wasn't working. Who knows? Maybe it is working. Maybe it isn't. We'll find out. This has been a weekend of not good sleeping patterns and behaviors. Now I'm tired, but I'm going to a friend's house for a little party with only 4 of us. And I'm going to be super tired tonight. And then I've got work tomorrow. We'll see. All right, there we go. We're being rushed. We see purple lines, those are the zigzag. We see some pink lines, those are the rush at the player. We see the red lines. The dark ones mean I'm not at the spot yet. Bright ones mean I'm at the spot. They should coincide with the dots on top. All right. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. When they get close enough, they should just choose a spot. That one did not. So that's weird. Okay, well. Okay, well, they are now doing what I wanted them to do, where they're just kind of hovering around the outskirts. But they're supposed to choose a spot. Maybe they're not getting close enough to choose a spot. Check for new attack position. Choose new attack position distance. What is that set to? Choose Chia Pet. Choose new attack position distance. That's why. Let's make that 8. We'll make zigzag range 15. Make that 8. Technically, that means if they're within 8 meters. So if they're above 8 meters, we're going to return. Otherwise, we're going to set a new attack position. If we don't have an attack position, set attack position. All right, so we're also going to say if actor actions dot has action, not that. If player attack positions dot spot is available, return. So if there's no spot available, then we'll return no open spots, because we can't choose a spot if there's no open spots. Oh man, that's one heck of a feeling, isn't it, Merrick? Spent half the day trying to fix a problem with the jittering in character when rotating the camera. Finally fixed it, but who knows why? And now you want to understand it. Yeah, sometimes it's okay to not understand it, I think. From my perspective, I feel like it's perfectly fine to simply not understand. If it works, you know. All right. Rush through, rush through, rush through. Interesting. So this change in pattern has made it so that they don't come as fast, but they are definitely staying away. Interesting that they're losing their attack position. See, he's coming closer. Oh, and that's good. He found a different one that was closer. I don't know if you saw it zooming around. But there's a couple like this one. You see the red line means they have an attack position, but then they move away far enough that they lose it. So I need to change that as well. And then these ones, well, I don't even know why they're, let's see. This one is in the patrol state. It's in the patrol state because the hearing distance is only 20. And but he's 10, so he can hear the player. So he should definitely be able to not be in patrol state. Okay, these ones got stuck. Now I don't expect the player in real-time mode to just sit here, so in most games, an actual practice, the player will be fighting. And there's that issue with, I'd be fighting, or I'd move to turn-based, which I haven't set up, which is why they're going, like, just doing their thing still. So I think it's okay to have some level of weirdness, because the player likely will not be sitting around just letting them all attack. And I can always update this months and years from now to make it better, just as long as it works good enough for now. All these that are moving away from the player, though, that's an interesting phenomenon. Okay, so I need to make sure that they don't break their connection to the bad guy. So a couple things. I've hard-coded this 8F, new position from player. So I think I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. This is still hard-coded, so I might have to change this at some point. And then the other thing is handle attack position and too far from. So break attack position distance. All right, so our settings for the alert status, we'll choose a new attack position if we're within 8 meters, but we will break it if we're more than 4.5 meters. See the problem? So we will break it if we get more than 9 meters away. We'll set that. So if we keep them wanting to go between 6 and 8 meters away, but they'll choose a new attack position if they're within 8, then as soon as one opens, one of the goblins should snag it, I think. Yep. You missed earlier I was having a jittery problem, and my problem was with the carving out of the Nav Mesh obstacle on an object that also had Nav Mesh Agent, which doesn't apparently recognize that it was itself that was affecting it. All right. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we got all these red lines. Clearly, they're all trying to go to a spot, but they can't because these spots were taken. So they essentially they got a spot near the player when the spot was empty and close to them. All the other spots then filled up, and they are no longer close to it. Like the ones, who have the spot at the front of the player right now are, of course, not close to it. So they were trying to go through the player rather than going around. So the options I can think of there, I don't know why this guy's not getting to his spot. The options I can think of there, here's some jitteriness. Look at that. The options I can think of there are writing my own script, or adding a new thing that basically takes all the enemies here and says, okay, one by one, get to the closest to you, so that these three or these two, like this one I think wants to go here and this one wants to go there. Yeah. So they just want to switch spots. So it would be one thing for them to switch the spot, another thing entirely for them to just literally say, okay, fine, we'll change desired spots. Or I can roll my own script. Where basically they... Ooh, gosh, look at that. I could roll my own script, and what I'm thinking there is that if they have an attack spot, then instead of using the nav mesh, they will go straight for it unless there's something blocking them. Then they'll go to, say, the left. And if everyone does that, then you should see them going around and filling in the back zone. So that is probably better, because right now it's oh, there's some floatiness. That guy was just being jittery. Theme of the day is jittery characters. Yeah, because right now, like, they're trying to go through each other, and that's the problem. If it's being blocked, just go around. And yeah. Like this one is trying to go here. It's blocked, so it would keep turning until it finally finds an open spot, and then it would keep turning and keep trying to go right, but it would keep getting blocked, so it would keep going until it suddenly wasn't blocked. And these other ones will just continue milling about on the outskirts. If they were range to attacks, speaking to what I think Magical Holy was talking about earlier, if they had range attacks, then they would be on the outskirts firing their bows and range attacks. I don't know why these ones are going into patrol mode. That's something to look at as well. But that's that. So it is now, however, time to check on my, it's been an hour, check on my meringue dessert that I'm making for my friends. And probably take a short nap, because I didn't sleep until 2:30 or 3 a.m. and then I woke up at 5 or 8 for some reason. So 5 hours of sleep. So there you go. So my next step will be to check the patrol. Also investigate and potentially rewrite the navigation logic when they have an attack spot. There did seem to be, in my mind, I can talk through it while it's playing, I guess. It's more exciting that way too. There definitely seemed to be a separation between the bad guys who had an attack spot and those who did not have an attack spot, where the ones who did not were milling about on the outskirts as we would want them to be. They were staying out of the way. And, you know, being good goblins. Where these others were trying to find their spot, but they're having issues. So I think rewriting that code would be good for those others. And then figuring out why they are switching to patrol mode, that shouldn't be happening. Those are the 3 things I need to do, or 2 things I need to do. Anyways, that's that. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the stuff. Hey, I was just watching Liam Academy last night. That is so weird. I have never seen that, or Llama Academy. I had never seen that guy's videos before, but I just saw one last night for the very first time. So interesting. Oh, interesting. Disable Nav Mesh Agent when enabling Nav Mesh Obstacle. That does make sense. Yeah. You too, Wesley. Have a great afternoon and great evening for those of you in Europe, and a great morning in insomnia for those of you in India. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. Don't forget to subscribe and like the stream. And yeah, bye-bye. Thanks. And I totally realized I could just talk to Jason Wyman rather than typing, but that's okay. I typed anyways. But yeah, Jason, you missed it. I'm sorry. Happy 4th. I hope you have a wonderful time. But I'm gonna be going to some friend's house, and I've got some meringue cooking, so I need to go take care of that and take a nap before the friend's house. So that's that. Anyways, have a good one. Bye, everyone.